Hey everyone, Steve Monette here with another video in my Bible Prophecy Bite series where we look at Bible scripture, history, and current events that all point to the soon return of Jesus the Messiah. Okay, so for today's video, I want to get this up before I head off to work. It's going to be a short one, but I want to briefly talk to you about two items that have been in the news that I think from a biblical prophecy perspective, we really do need to keep our eyes on it, okay? The first one is regarding the latest quote-unquote unexpected power failure that hit the Natanz nuclear facility located in Iran. And that happened yesterday, which was Sunday, the 11th of April, 2021. And as you may have heard, this unexpected power failure hit the nuclear facility, which Iran uses to conduct its uranium enrichment operations. And apparently the Iranians had just recently installed numerous advanced centrifuges that would have allowed them to produce more nuclear material at a faster rate of production. And of course, we all know that this material is needed for Iran's nuclear bomb program, which they have made it abundantly clear they intend to destroy Israel. And they will use this nuclear bomb. So there's no doubt in anybody's mind, okay? Now, what makes this so interesting is the timing and the response, okay? So let's take a look at a few headlines here, okay? Well, the first headline is that pretty much every intelligence agency in the Western Hemisphere is blaming Israel for this unexpected power failure. And is it or is it not? Israel usually is very coy on these types of events. They don't seem to be denying it, and they certainly are not taking full credit for it, but it is interesting nonetheless. I think we could make that assumption that they did do it, okay? Now, the second headline that I'm going to show you here is that this is interesting in terms of timing, is that this attack, so-called attack, if it was in fact due to Israel, occurred on just prior to a two-day visit with the brand new Secretary of Defense for the United States was in Israel to meet with Benny Gantz, who was their Minister of Defense as well. So I think that timing is very, very interesting, okay? Now, also, the same intelligence agencies are saying that this event may very well put Iran's nuclear program back by almost 9 months. That's interesting, too. It may be a little too early to make that determination, but if they're already making that determination this early into the event without getting a full rundown of all the damage that was done, yeah, that to me is really interesting, okay? Now this headline is the reason that I decided to make this video. This headline clearly states that Iran may have no other choice than to retaliate against Israel. And not only that, but in this morning's news, Iran has clearly stated that they will retaliate against Israel. And this, my friends, is the footsteps of Gog and Magog. Ezekiel 38 tells us that Persia or Iran will be part of a coalition that will attack Israel. And of course, we know that Magog, who is located in modern-day Turkey and the Ukraine, is also slated to attack Israel as well as part of that coalition. And guess what? Russia is moving nearly 100,000 troops and military hardware, heavy military hardware, I might add, are moving it all into Ukraine, even as I make this video today. And again, just as the Bible tells us, no one will come to Israel's aid if anyone does, in fact, attack Israel. And again, the timing is just perfect. Because when I look at the circumstances with the USA and what Iran is doing and what Israel is doing and what Russia is doing, it definitely begs the question. If Iran, Turkey, or Russia were to attack Israel anytime during the next 4 years, do you honestly believe that Joe Biden would offer to protect Israel? Or would he be more concerned with Iran? And if you have any doubt or question about that question, take a look at this headline. And this is from a U.S.-based newspaper. I think this will tell you exactly what you need to know. So make no mistake, The Iran-Israel dispute that goes back and forth is basically getting hotter by the minute. And this proverbial pot is going to boil over at some point. And as I have said before on this channel, Iran will use Hamas and their 100,000 rockets to attack Israel and probably all at the same time in an attempt to overwhelm the Iron Dome system. And how do I know that? Well, I can read newspapers, but I can also read the Bible. Yes, Ezekiel 38 tells us that the enemy will use numerous arrows that will be knocked out of the sky, and those same arrows will cover the land like a storm cloud. Okay? So, let me close with this. Keep an eye on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Keep an eye on the Iran-Israel skirmishes. And let's see what Iran does over the next week or two. And, of course, keep an eye on the Biden administration and see if they express any sympathy for Iran. And if they do, and I expect that they will in some way or another, that will tell you all you need to know about Ezekiel 38 and the position of the USA and where it stands in relation to Israel. They will offer no help whatsoever. All right, until next video, keep looking up, for our redemption draws near. Thanks for watching.